I'm gonna do this post on YouTube, but a lot of people ask me on TikTok and stuff. They always say, "What's the worst prison you ever been to?" All right, so I've been to Goulburn, Nowra, Long Bay, Parkley, MRRC. I've been to Young Offenders, Carry On. We were the last and worst intake apparently, but yeah. But the worst prison I've ever been to is Canberra. All right, people are like, "Oh, well, Canberra's a mad jail." If you're from New South Wales and you're saying Canberra's a mad jail, you ain't never been there, right? So my first jail was Goulburn. So the old school boys and that, like, they taught me the rules in Goulburn, yeah? Like, what I got taught in Goulburn was getting contradicted down there in Canberra. You know what I'm saying? It was confusing the hell out of me, but I just knew I didn't like these dudes. Do you know what I mean? Just a lot of times I see them go up to the screws and say things they shouldn't have said. But these dudes don't know what they're doing wrong, I guess. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have a personal vendetta on them because, listen, New South Wales, our structure based off like the 80s and the 90s of the race wars, like ruthless days, yeah? Like ruthless days, like that energy has stayed in our system, yeah? Canberra's like not even old, it was like 2010 or something. There's no history in Canberra. Boys are, so don't forget Canberra's full of politicians, so the boys that come off the streets are probably just dudes that got on the drugs and I don't know, their family have fucking banished them, I don't know. But they're the dudes that come into the system in Canberra. They're not like Sydney boys, you know, they're not from like Mount Druitt, you know what I'm saying? They're not from fucking like Redfern and stuff like that. They're from Canberra, where the politicians are. So you can only imagine what the jail's like. I'm not saying there's still some dudes down there you gotta watch out for, straight out. You can still get hurt in this prison. It is still a jail, but there's no rules, yeah? There's no proper rules down there because there's no repercussions. You break the rules, no repercussions. So what's the point of having rules, yeah? New South Wales, there's still rules, yeah? There's like unwritten laws. You break them and there's a good chance you could get got. In Canberra, that's not the situation. All right, so you can probably kick up your legs and have a good time in Canberra, but saying that, you could get shit goed because there'll be no repercussions for that. You understand? All right, cool. But on top of that, right, I got some boys in there doing some long laggings, bro. They're telling me there's no programs, right? There's nothing for them. They had one program on and they even got funds and they just stopped funding it for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with this Canberra jail. This is the capital's corrections. It's human rights. They're not doing nothing about the boys down there. The boys go in there to get out worse. That's what Canberra is. New South Wales, I got my license. You couldn't even do that in Canberra. You know what I'm saying? So yes, the worst jail I've ever been to is Canberra. Goulburn has got good boys. It had good boys. And everybody knows it's the boys that make the prison, yeah? Doesn't matter how hard the jail is. It's right.